it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to do an unboxing of multiple The Book HookUp subscription box from the Strand in New York City. So stay tuned. So you may have seen a video I did a few months back of the spring young adult subscription box from the Strand called The Book HookUp. And it's a quarterly box, and I just enjoyed that box so much that for the summer I actually not only got the young adult, but I also got the Feminist Literature box, and I believe the science fiction and fantasy box. So that's combined into one. And as I said in that video, each box has a different price and comes with different items, and I guess has a different theme and everything. So the young adult box is like $37.50 for a box, and the Feminist Literature and the Sci-Fi Fantasy box both are $50 a box. And they have several different categories as well. They also have fiction, art, political nonfiction, mystery and suspense, little readers, and timeless favorites. And I was kind of interested in the mystery and suspense one, but then you can actually see online ahead of time what the main book is going to be. And the mystery and suspense book that was going to be in there is a book I already own, so I didn't want to get it. But I was interested in the feminist literature book and the science fiction / fantasy book. So I ended up getting 3 boxes for this summer. So let's just dig in, shall we? And I don't know which box is which because they're not really labeled, so it'll be a surprise for all of us. Okay, so the first box here looks like this. Got some paper. Okay, so we have a card here, and it's just a postcard from the Strand. It's Strand Bookstore, $1 cart in New York City. And yeah, this is an actual postcard. And another thing that I kind of figured out with the last box is that everything that they put in their boxes is either Strand merchandise or locally sourced from other places around New York City, which I thought was really cool. So this is the Sullivan Street Tea and Spice Company Strawberry Fields 20 biodegradable tea bags. It says, lush strawberry notes give way to the sweet, slightly astringent finish of quality green tea. Brew it hot in the winter and make it iced in the summer to enjoy strawberry fields forever. Steep for 2 minutes in 8 ounces of water at 170 degrees. So this has got organic Chinese green tea, organic papaya, organic strawberries, and natural flavor. And this is from a company in New York City. Open this up. I kind of smell it, like the strawberries. It feels like almost like an egg carton kind of material. So here are the tea bags. They smell really good. They look like this. Handmade in Greenwich Village. And they have flat rate shipping, only $5.75. And then the card just tells a little bit about their shop. And they talk about the different teas they have and that kind of thing. Okay, so this is the Feminist Literature box. I know because of the main book here. Then we have a pen. It says, read a book. And another pen that says, read the room. I'm going to save the books for last. Okay, we have a little tote bag, and this is a Strand tote bag. It says strandbooks.com. And it's just a really cute little bag, like zippered bag that has different books, like the Feminine Mystique, the Bell Jar, Women Who Run with Wolves, Milk and Honey, books like that. And there's like a little bookmark here attached that has my reading list, and like just a little thing for you to write down the books that you want to read. Then we have pencils. It's a set of 5 literary pencils, and they all have different things on them, like what would Jane Austen write? What would Maya Angelou write? What would Sylvia Plath write? What would Dorothy Parker write? What would Emily Dickinson write? So that's neat. And then we have a magazine, Bust magazine. Erica Badu 20th anniversary issue. And it says, plus Amber Tamblyn, Titus Burgess, Karuchi Tran, legal sex work, satanic feminists, and more. I don't know if they always include a magazine, but I've gotten a magazine in my other one as well. And I'm not sure, but I think they may always include 2 books as well. So you have your main book, and then you have that you can see ahead of time what it's going to be. And then an extra book on top of that. So this is the extra book that came with it. It's You Play the Girl on Playboy Bunnies, Stepford Wives, Train Wrecks, and Other Mixed Messages by Karina Chicano. These are essays. And this won the National Books Critic Circle Award. It looks like this. And it says, as a kid in the 1970s and 80s, Karina Chicano dutifully absorbed all the conflicting information the culture had to offer on how to be a woman, grappling with sexed-up sidekicks, princesses waiting to be saved, and morally infallible angels who seem to have no opinions of their own. She learned that the girl is not a person, but a man's idea of what a woman should be. It wasn't until she spent 5 years as a movie critic and was laid off when her daughter was born, however, that Chicano really came to understand how the stories the culture tells us about what it means to be a girl limit our lives and shape our destinies. She resolved to rewrite her own story. In You Play the Girl, Chicano blends formative personal stories with insightful and emotionally powerful analysis, moving from Bugs Bunny to Playboy Bunnies, Flashdance to Frozen, and progressive 70s through the backlash 80s and glib 90s, and the pornified aughts. And at stops in between, she explains how growing up in the shadow of the girl taught her to think about herself and the world and what it means to raise a daughter in the face of these contorted reflections. In the tradition of Roxane Gay, Rebecca Solnit, and Susan Sontag, Chicano brilliantly shows that our identities are more fluid than we think, and certainly more complex than anything we see on any kind of screen. Sounds pretty interesting. And then we have the main book, which is a signed edition, and this is Dead Girls by Alice Bolin, Essays on Surviving an American Obsession. And there is the signature. And this says, in this poignant collection, Alice Bolin examines iconic American works from the essays of Joan Didion and James Baldwin to Twin Peaks, Britney Spears, and Serial, illuminating the widespread obsession with women who are abused, killed, and disenfranchised, and whose bodies, dead and alive, are used as props to bolster men's stories. With 14 smart, accessible, thoughtful, and heartfelt essays, Bolin investigates the implications of our cultural fixations and her own role as a consumer and creator. Bolin chronicles her life in Los Angeles, dissects the noir genre, revisits her own coming of age, and analyzes stories of witches and werewolves, both appreciating and challenging the narratives we construct and absorb every day. Dead Girls begins by exploring the trope of dead women in fiction and ends by interrogating the more complex dilemma of living women, both the persistent injustices they suffer and the oppression that white women help perpetrate. Reminiscent of the piercing insight of Rebecca Solnit and the critical skill of Hilton Als, Bolin constructs a sharp, incisive, and revelatory dialogue on the portrayal of women in media and their roles in our culture. And I thought it sounded really, really interesting. Okay, on to the next box. Looks like that. Okay, so this is the young adult box. So we have a mini copper alarm clock. Oh, well, that is so cute. Mini copper plated alarm clock with built-in stand and DeBoss dial. Includes replaceable AG13 battery. Yeah, it looks like that. It's cute. It's little. And then we've got some Pure Leaf black tea with vanilla. They look like this. You get lots of tea from these boxes. We have another Strand postcard. Looks like a license plate. Have another little pop for the back of my phone, which I already have one on my phone, but this one is Book Con. The book is always better. So that is cool. I'll just kind of save that for when my other one wears out. And we have 2 pens. Another one that says read a book. And one that says resting book face. So my extra book apparently got bent up. Looks like that. But this is actually something that I entered to try to win on a Goodreads giveaway. So I'm excited that I have this. It's an advanced reader copy of The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. And this says, a little bit Riverdale and a little bit Veronica Mars. The Cheerleaders is a twisty page turner that will have you doubting every character you meet and everything you think you know. And that was Riley Sager, a best-selling author of Final Girls. There are no more cheerleaders in the town of Sunnybrook. First, there was a car accident. 2 girls dead after hitting a tree on a rainy night. Not long after, the murders happened. Those 2 girls were killed by the man next door. The police shot him, so no one will ever know his reasons. Monica's sister was the last cheerleader to die. After her suicide, Sunnybrook High disbanded the cheer squad. No one wanted to be reminded of the girls they'd lost. That was 5 years ago. Now the faculty and students of Sunnybrook High want to remember the lost cheerleaders. But for Monica, it's not that easy. She just wants to forget. Only Monica's world is starting to unravel. There are letters on her stepdad's desk, an unearthed, years-old cell phone, a strange new friend at school. Whatever happened 5 years ago isn't over. Some people in town know more than they're saying, and somehow Monica is at the center of it all. There are no more cheerleaders in Sunnybrook, but that doesn't mean anyone else is safe. And she is the author of The Darkest Corners and Little Monsters. And this book goes on sale July 31st. Okay, so now for the main book, which is also a signed book. That is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessel. And, oh, there's the signature. It's black with this white font, and it has what looks like a clock embossed on it. And it says 11.2 hours, and then in parentheses, 672 minutes. Like that. On the back it just says, I was going to be stuck here forever, here in the Neverworld, where I'd never grow old, never have a family, never fall in love. I was a ticking clock in a timeless world. So the inside flap here says, once upon a time, back at Darrow Harker School, Beatrice Hartley and her 5 best friends were the cool kids, the beautiful ones. Then the shocking death of Jim, their creative genius, and Beatrice's boyfriend changed everything. 1 year after graduation, Beatrice is returning to Wincroft, the seaside estate where they spent so many nights sharing secrets, crushes, plans to change the world, hoping she'll get to the bottom of the dark questions gnawing at her about Jim's death. She suspects that her friends know much more than they ever let on. But as the night plays out in a haze of awkward jokes and unfathomable silence, Beatrice senses she's never going to know what really happened. Then night fades to morning. A thunderstorm rages, and a mysterious man knocks on the door. Blithely he announces the impossible. Time for them has become stuck, snagged on a splinter that can only be removed if the former friends make the harshest of decisions. Now Beatrice has one last shot at answers, and at life. And so begins the Neverworld Wake. Acclaimed New York Times bestselling author of night film and special topics in calamity physics, Marisha Pessel creates a vivid and unsettling realm in this atmospheric and absorbing psychological suspense novel, sure to keep readers breathless until the riveting conclusion. And I thought it sounded really interesting. And it also kind of gave me a little feel of, like, I know what you did last summer kind of thing. But I don't know. But I'm looking forward to reading this. Okay, so this last box must be the sci-fi / fantasy box. Looks like that. But you really can't see anything but the paper. Okay, what is this? The Base Camp Reading Lamp. What? Will boldly glow where other lights just won't go. Comes with batteries fitted. Small but perfectly formed for your reading adventures. How cute! It looks like a little camping lamp. I want to open it. Well, I pulled out the little tab and I pressed the on off button, but it doesn't work. Maybe the tab wasn't fully in there or something, and the batteries will have to be replaced. But at least it's cute. Apparently it takes 3 AG3 batteries, which I don't, you know, just randomly have laying around. So, yeah. Okay, we got some more Sullivan Street Tea and Spice Companies. This one's the Roman Provence one. A bright fruity extraction balanced with the flowery aroma of lavender that whisks you away to the Roman countryside. Smooth and lightly sweet. Then we have another pen that says Read the Room. And another that says Welcome to Reality. Okay, so now on to the extra book that's in the box. This one is a Penguin Classics, and it's called We by Yevgeny Zamyatin. I'm sure I said that wrong, but looks like this. It's a very thin book. It's only like 225 pages. And this says, set in the 26th century AD, Zamyatin's masterpiece describes life in the regimented totalitarian society of one state, ruled over by the all-powerful benefactor. The inspiration for George Orwell's 1984, We is the archetype of the modern dystopia, or anti-utopia. A great prose poem detailing the fate that might befall us all if we surrender our individual selves to some collective dream of technology and fail in the vigilance that is the price of freedom. Clarence Brown's brilliant translation is based on the corrected text of the novel, first published in Russia in 1988 after more than 60 years suppression. Interesting. And then we have our main book, which is also signed, and that is The Book of M by Penge Shepherd. And it looks like this. And this says, set in a dangerous near-future world, The Book of M tells the captivating story of a group of ordinary people caught in extraordinary catastrophe who risk everything to save the ones they love. This sweeping debut illuminates the power that memories have not only on the heart, but on the world itself. One afternoon at an outdoor market in India, a man's shadow disappears. An occurrence that science cannot explain. He is only the first. The phenomenon spreads like a plague, and while those afflicted gain a strange new power, the magic comes at a horrible price, the loss of all of their memories. 2 years later, Ori and his wife Max have escaped the forgetting by hiding in an abandoned hotel deep in the woods outside Arlington, Virginia. Their new life feels almost normal until their greatest fear happens to them, and Max's shadow disappears too. Knowing that the more she forgets, the more dangerous she will become to the person most precious to her, Max runs away while Ori is out foraging for supplies. But he refuses to give up what little time they have left together. Desperate to find Max before her memory disappears completely, Ori follows her trail across a perilous, unrecognizable world, braving the threat of roaming bandits, the call to a new war being waged amid the ruins of the capital, and the rise of a sinister cult that worships the shadowless. On their separate journeys, each searches for answers. For Ori, about love, about survival, about hope. And for Max, about a mysterious new force growing in the South that may hold the cure. And I thought that sounded really interesting. And, oh, there was one more thing in here. This is another postcard. This one says, love you. That's pretty. Okay, well, I got a lot of tea. I got a cute little lantern that may one day work. I got a cute little alarm clock. And a little pop socket. A lot of pens. A lot of books. And a magazine. Oh, and this little the pouch and the pencils. So not too bad. All those books. I still think that the young adult one is my favorite, but every once in a while I probably will get other boxes just to kind of have a variety, and well, because they're interesting to have like the different books and stuff. I think the book that I'm actually most excited about is one that I didn't know I was going to get, and that's the advanced reader copy of The Cheerleaders. I'm really excited for this book because it sounded really good to me. As far as the items go, I would probably be most excited about this little lamp if it actually worked. Oh well. What was your favorite item in the box? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time,